Let's get into our picks for this week. The number 8th ranked Alabama Crimson Tide, coming off of the big win over the LSU Tigers, travels to Lexington, Kentucky for an early game. Some people believe this is a trap game, Darren. Is Alabama in trouble? Does Kentucky have a legitimate chance here? What's your take?
I think it has all the makings of a trap game with one glaring exception. I think even with the trap game set up, I don't think Kentucky has the talent or the ability to. I don't think their defense can stop Jalen Milroe, and I don't. Yeah, I said that right. And I don't think their offense can do anything against this Alabama defense because they don't have anybody like a Jaden Daniels. I think that their running game could potentially uh, have a decent day. Ray Davis, but I still think even with him having a good day against Alabama, he's probably going to get 70 to 80 yards the most, and it's just not going to be enough. I think Alabama definitely wins this. What about you, Ben?
I would guess this game will be tight in the first quarter, maybe in the
Mhm.
first half, but I think Alabama will wear down Kentucky. Crimson Tide will win. The Vanderbilt Commodores are traveling to South Carolina to face the South Carolina Gamecocks. Head coach Shane Beamer said this week he's got to do a much better job coaching. Is he going to do that in this game? The South Carolina win.
Well, I think honestly, Vanderbilt gets off the bus in Columbia, and I don't think South Carolina has to field a team. Vanderbilt can't win in Columbia. I admire Nate Bargatze's resolve and zeal to say we're going to win out, but I'm just not there. I don't. It would be a miracle of all miracles, even with as bad as this South Carolina team is. I mean, Vanderbilt lost to South Carolina in Columbia the year that they had won, if any games, maybe one, maybe two, and Steve Spurrier was run out of town before the season was over with. They were the game after Spurrier stepped down and still couldn't beat South Carolina in Columbia. It just doesn't happen. South Carolina wins. How about you, Ben?
I can hear Clark Lee channeling his inner Dabo saying, "You are part of the problem."
He might not be wrong, but anyway.
I agree. I think South Carolina wins. The 14th ranked Tennessee Volunteers are traveling up to Missouri to face the 16th ranked Missouri Tigers, coming off a hard fought loss against Georgia. Brady Cook, Luther Burden, Cody Schrader, they are all playing at a high level. Is that going to be enough to knock off Tennessee? What do you think, Darren?
I think the offenses are going to be very similar in their stats for the day. I think Missouri will have a strong running attack. Will take the top off the defense when needed. Have a nice day, running and in the air. And I think Tennessee will probably do the same thing. So the question becomes which defense can hamper the other offense enough to get a stop when needed and make the difference in the game. And I'm going to trust Missouri to affect Joe Milton before I trust Tennessee to affect Brady Cook. So I'm calling the upset in this one. I think Missouri, because it is in Missouri, I think I would flip it truthfully if it were in Knoxville and Missouri had to go to Neyland. But because it's in Missouri, I'm going to call the upset on this one. I think Missouri wins this game. How about you, Ben?
My sentiments exactly. If this game is played in Knoxville, I'm choosing Tennessee because it's at Missouri. I'm going to go with the Tigers here. Missouri wins.
Excellent.
The Auburn Tigers, looking to become bowl eligible in Hugh Freeze's first season, travel to Fayetteville to face the suddenly wide awake, reawakened Arkansas Razorbacks. As you mentioned, KJ Jefferson, Rocket Sanders, they were cooking Saturday. It
Yep.
seems that things are trending in an upward direction, but Hugh Freeze may have something to say about this. An intriguing matchup on paper, Darren. Who do you like in this one?
I tell you, you watch the game between Auburn and Vanderbilt on Saturday, and Auburn wanted Vanderbilt to win worse than Vanderbilt wanted Vanderbilt to win. They tried several times to leave the door open to make just unreal mistakes like the pick six where the Auburn quarterback he threw it straight to the Vanderbilt guy. I mean, he was it was an absolute perfect shot just to the wrong guy, uh, and they did things like that throughout the game. And Vanderbilt just didn't have enough talent or scheme, truthfully, to be able to capitalize on that. And I think this new Arkansas that we're seeing absolutely can. I think it will be a close game at times, but Auburn will eliminate the mistakes that I'm sorry, Arkansas will eliminate the mistakes that Auburn can't, and this is an Arkansas win. How about you, Ben?
Let's go, Arkansas! Come on, come on,
Oh.
Razorbacks all the way! Like, come on, do it with me. Let's call those hogs! Woo!
Oh,
Oh no, no, no!
we messed it up.
But I'm going with the Razorbacks as well.
Nice.
The West Virginia Mountaineers suddenly hot. Boy, they
Yeah.
just demolished BYU last weekend. Traveling to Norman to face OU, coming off of
Hmm.
that Bedlam loss to Oklahoma State. Did you hear what Oklahoma State, the song they were playing on the loudspeaker at the end of the game?
You said what was it?
Was it "We Are Never Ever Getting Back Together"?
Oh yeah, the Taylor Swift song, right? Wasn't it?
A little
That's pretty
salt on the
good.
wound there. A little salt on the wound.
That is pretty
This is an
good.
intriguing matchup. There was a part of me, Darren, that thought about picking West Virginia
Hmm.
because of history. But OU coming off a loss to Kansas, a loss to Oklahoma State, I have a hard time believing that they're going to drop. This would be what, the third in a row.
Yeah, exactly.
I have a hard time believing that. So I'm going to go with the Sooners here.
The exact same thought process. I agree 100%. This is they will not drop three in a row. This is an Oklahoma win.
The seventh ranked Texas Longhorns, possibly with starting quarterback Quinn Ewers back under center. We're waiting to see that. Travel just down the road to Fort Worth to face the TCU Horned Frogs. Yeah.
Well, now remember, TCU as of last year is the new dominant force in the Big 12, right? Oh, wait, never mind. So,
Um, yeah.
I think
Texas.
I have to say, I think we agree on this one exactly. Texas.
The 10th ranked Ole Miss Rebels coming off of a win against Jimbo and A&M, which Lane Kiffin savored immensely, is
Yes.
pretty obvious. Travel to Athens to face the number one ranked Georgia Bulldogs, where an upstart Kentucky team thought they had a chance and left with a loss. An upstart Missouri Tiger team thought they had a chance, left with a loss. Is it going to be any different for Ole Miss, Darren?
I, I want so bad to buy into what Ole Miss has been doing the last couple of weeks. But like we talked about with the Alabama game, and again, heard it on a podcast, not my original term, my fear in picking Ole Miss to win this game is short and simple. Will Lane Whiffen reappear? And I can't overcome that. Everything in me says when you look at the way Ole Miss is playing, especially with the return of Quinshon Judkins, there is something there. But a lot of people, just like you pointed out, have thought that when they rolled in to play Georgia, with it being in Athens, that just seals the deal. An upset would be incredible to watch, strictly for the drama of it, but it's not this week. I think this is a Georgia win. How about you, Ben?
I said I wasn't going to pick against Kirby Smart again. But as we look at the list of games for this week, you got to pick an upset pick somewhere.
Very true.
Ole Miss underperformed against Alabama big time.
Yes.
Lane Kiffin, it is time to take Ole Miss to the next level. And you're going to have to go into, you didn't do it in Tuscaloosa.
Nope.
Now you're going to Athens. You're going to have to go into Athens. You're going to have to pull out a win. So, Lane, Coach Kiffin, I'm backing you on this one. All right. Billy Napier let me down. Brian Kelly broke my heart. Please treat me better like them than them. I'm asking you, please. I'm going to go with Ole Miss, and I'm not sure why, but I'm going with them.
Hey, you know what? Here's the thing. If you get it wrong, just like we've talked about before, everybody goes, why would you make that pick? But if you get it right, I mean, what a good call to make. It's a good one to call. So
I stand on that line way too much. The Florida Gators coming off of a very disappointing loss to Arkansas, the first time that
Oof.
Arkansas has ever won in the swamp. Traveled to Baton Rouge to face 18th ranked LSU, coming off of that heartbreaking loss to Alabama. Jaden Daniels is day to day. Looks like he's going to play, but we'll wait and see as the week goes on. Darren, who you picking?
I, I think I might see it a little bit different and give a little bit more pause to say, okay, is this kind of a wake up moment for Florida if it were going to be in Gainesville? But the Tigers come rolling back into Baton Rouge with Death Valley behind them against a team that's already taken a severe gut punch in the loss to Arkansas. I just don't. I don't see how it happens. This to me, this is going to be a very clear LSU win. It might even get ugly. I don't know that it gets ugly, but I think LSU, especially with Jaden Daniels back, if that is the case, this is going to be a dominant performance by LSU. What about you, Ben?
Go Tigers.
Well said. Well said.
Mississippi State, in the throes of a disappointing season, is
Oof.
traveling to College Station to face Texas A&M, which again under Jimbo Fisher is not meeting expectations
Right.
this year. Who do you choose in this one?
Uh, A&M has at least showed that they could score. Mike Wright, for all intents and purposes, from everything we know, is going to be the Mississippi State quarterback again this week. And man, the guy can run and he can do things with his feet, and all of that's awesome. But you got to be able to throw the football, and he just struggles. And this is an A&M win. How about you?
I think A&M wins, and I wouldn't be surprised if they pile it on. It's going to be a game where they can let out all their frustration.
Yep.